name is Edna McKee, and I've been coached into making homemade biscuits for everybody. My husband, Jerry McKee, does a lot of videography, and he has been asking me for a long time to make homemade biscuits to see if everyone would enjoy seeing this. So this is kind of a messy procedure, but some of the first things that you do before you get started is make sure that you wash your hands really good, because you don't want to make biscuits with nasty hands or fingernails. And you preheat your oven on 420, and then you just about get ready to get started. So the first thing you do is get you some Crisco lard, and you're going to be greasing the baking pan that you're going to put your biscuits on. And this is messy, so I'm going to scoop up a generous amount just to grease my pan with. And you coat it pretty good all over, because you don't want the biscuits to stick. I use Crisco lard for everything because it's the best. Okay, I'll put the excess back in there, and I've got the pan well greased. I'm gonna lay it aside, and then we'll get started. I've got some paper towel to kind of wipe my hands with because it's really messy. Okay, and we'll start off with, I measured 4 cups of flour, and I learned recently that you don't really have to sift your flour because it's already finely sifted when you get it. So, but one of my friends who does a lot of baking, Deanne Barrett, she told me that you can use a whisk, and you just put everything in your bowl. I'm going to start off with 4 cups of flour, and the kind of flour that I use is this right here. This is the best flour to make biscuits with. White Lily, the light self-rising, the light baking flour. And then you take your whisk and you kind of just stir around in the flour to make sure it is well sifted and blended good. Okay, then this is starting the messy process. I scoop up about a cup, and this is all I guess, just a big amount, maybe a little bit more, at least a cup of Crisco, maybe a little bit more. Put that in there. And then you get your buttermilk. Shake your buttermilk carton really well. Make sure all the ingredients in it. And I use whole buttermilk. You take the milk and you start pouring it into the mixture. You can pour about half of it. And what you're going to be looking for is consistency. You have to knead it until all the flour and all the lard is blended really well. If you get a little bit of too much of one ingredient, like if you get it too soupy, too much where you can't handle it too well, you can always add more flour. So you just continuously knead the dough and get it well blended. I thought I would do this because since the coronavirus is so bad and we can't get out and do the things that we normally do, every time I've been to the grocery store lately, I'm not able to find any loaf bread or anything. So if you can make biscuits, you'll always have bread. And it's really simple to make. You just got to be able to get used to doing the messy job, and just the end product is what it's going to be worth. So I don't think I'm gonna need much more buttermilk. I poured 2 cups, but looked like about a cup. I used about 1 cup to 4 cups of flour. And then I used 1 good sized cup of lard is what my contents are. It's only 3 things that you use. So once you get it all kind of mixed up, you start kind of turning it, getting the excess flour that's in the bowl. You get it kind of coated on the outside of the dough so you can handle it really well. And it'll make a big ball of dough. Sometimes you can get it done in 2 minutes. Sometimes it might take 5 minutes more. But like I said, the end product is what's worth it. It doesn't matter if it's messy or not, it's good. I've got a pan of country ham cooking also. So when these biscuits cook, I know something that Jerry's gonna do. Put a piece of country ham in this hot buttered biscuit. Okay, it's looking really good where I can handle it really well. And of course it sticks to your fingers and you can kind of get some of the dough off of your hands. Got a little bit more flour in here, so I'm gonna sprinkle it over it. Kind of knead it, fold it, press it, and just repeat that over and over and over until everything is mixed up really well. Also, one thing I forgot to tell you, it's probably best if you take off all your jewelry before you start this too, because if you don't, you'll be going to get your jewelry cleaned. Ask my brother, Philip Lemons. Okay, I've got a nice size ball of dough and it's well floured. So I'm gonna set it over here. It doesn't look too good shape-wise. And I'm gonna I think I'm gonna get some fresh flour to use instead of this. And I'm gonna sprinkle it on my parchment paper. You can use dough board, wax paper, parchment paper, or anything like that. Just anything that you can flatten your dough with. Some people use a rolling pin, but I just press mine out kind of flat. So I'm gonna take some more flour. Just sprinkle it around so the dough don't stick on this. So you can start pressing the dough out. Okay, you put it on the parchment paper and you just start pressing the dough. Press it as ever how thick you want your biscuits. I don't like mine real thick, but I don't like them real paper thin either, so. Like I said, if you want to use a rolling pin, that'll be fine too. And I've got a little biscuit cutter, and you can take some of the flour and kind of dab it in it so it don't stick. And after you get it pressed down, it doesn't have to be any kind of shape at all, just everything kind of the same height. Then you can start cutting your biscuits out. they'll rise up and look just about all the same size once they start cooking. This is really not hard to do. You just have to, like I said, this is a messy job, but the end product is worth it. You can ask my husband that if you see him. Trying to make space for all my dough. Once you get as many cut out the first time, just start kneading the ball again, and if you got room on your baking sheet, just keep putting more biscuit dough and do the same thing, repeat the process. So anyone who has been out looking for a loaf bread and hadn't been able to find any, if you got buttermilk, flour, and Crisco, you don't have to worry. You can use the biscuits for anything. You can put jelly in them, peanut butter and jelly, whatever you want, or either lunch meat if you have to. But you won't go hungry as long as you got those staples in your house. I think I got room for about one more. Maybe one more. Okay, that should take care of that. And what I'm going to do now is to put them in a preheated oven. The oven's been preheated on 420, and they'll be cooking for at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes. The slower they cook like that, 420 is a good temperature. Okay, you see the baking sheet full of biscuits. I'm getting ready to put them in the oven that's preheated on 420. And after 15 minutes, start watching, and you can get them as brown as you want. I like mine lightly brown, very lightly browned. I don't like them overcooked. So we'll see. And the country ham is right here. It's got some more cooking to do. But I'd appreciate if you have enjoyed seeing this, because this is a first for me. See you later. Okay, it's time for me to check to see if the biscuits are ready. They've been in the oven for about 20 minutes. Oh yes, they're just the way I like it. I don't like them overcooked. I like them slightly brown. So I'm going to move to the table and we'll show you some things that you can do to these biscuits. Okay, this is a finished product, and there's my country ham. So I'm going to take one of my biscuits, just split it good. And when I started cooking the country ham, I took my kitchen scissors and cut them in the size that fits the biscuit. So that's the easiest way to do it. You can do that, or you can take one and put some good butter in it. I don't know of anybody that don't like butter. And then, of course, you can use jelly, whatever you choose. So this is the way you can use your biscuits. And as long as you out there looking for loaf bread and can't find it, this is a solution. Bye-bye.